The episode has started, and I'm looking off screen because my little circle that I live in was in outer space when I loaded up OBS, and I'm like trying to figure out if this is where it should be, and we're going to do this live. Okay, I'm going to maybe I ought to go a little bit lower so we can see this number here. I've probably been covering up this number for a long time, and I've been referring to it, and you've been quietly to yourself thinking, what the hell is he talking about? This number here, I realized I was pointing to it on OBS. This number here in the top is how many people we've identified versus how many people we have to identify before the mysterious benefactor comes back and talks to us again. So we've got 9 more to go. I'm just going to go into several screens just to double check it seems fine. I don't often look over at this screen. We're starting this episode with a bit meta. Just on the whole, I think it should be in a bit from the... There we go. I mean, again, I often point over here and I'm like, oh, look how many bits of evidence we got left on each thing. And I might be pointing at stuff you can't see. As with all Let's Play playthrough thing games, when you've got your camera on screen somewhere, it's going to cover something. And I still think that top right corner is probably the best place for it. Because I think most things are fine. Like when I go into here, I think... yeah, it's like kind of out of the way. I think that's fine. Any other part of the house that's sort of... if I go... yeah, we've done that. I think this is mostly fine. I think it's fine. I think you just sometimes won't see the numbers that are down the side here. And I think we just have to live with that. Anyway, you join me as I was adjusting everything. And I hope my face is in a decent place. If you can think of a better place, let me know. But I think we're going to live with that. That's where it's been for quite a while, except I think I'm a little bit lower down, I'm guessing. Now, where were we? Well, welcome. This is the Roottrees are dead. I've lost track of what part we're on. This might be part 10 from memory. If it's not, well, you know, we've started off on whatever foot this is. Can you hear the jazz? Or is it just me? Because I realised, let's go more meta. When I load this thing into DaVinci Resolve, the editing software, and I put the little intro at the beginning, and that's got its own little jazz theme and stuff. As the jazz theme fades out, I don't pick up on the actual game's jazz so much, but I think it comes in gently. Anyway, hopefully you can hear that saxophone behind me. We're going to get into the game. We're going to do it. So my note, I'm starting a new session. I think I'm going to record another 2 at a time. Because it's going to get a bit... This is... what day is this? This is the 4th of March for me. I'm going to record a couple tonight. I might record a couple tomorrow night as well, because I'm going to have a little bit of a busy period. Formula 1 is coming back, and I need to focus on that over the weekend and maybe a few days afterwards. I don't know I don't know. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the actual game. So the notes I wrote to myself are just 2. 1, go through the temp sheet, which I will do at some point, and that's just this stuff, and just see if I can just slot it into somewhere where I know it belongs. And investigate the periodical Starlet, in particular with respect to Wild Bill Williams and Gwyn. So Starlet was a periodical we opened up as a possible place to search. I think it's a magazine. Probably a gossip magazine or a celebrity magazine, or, you know, one of those types. And I think it's going to give us some insight into this whole missing section that we don't know much about. And maybe who Wild Bill Williams' name actually was. Who, I mean, we think it's this person in here, but there is no Bill Williams or William Williams or anyone like that in the list of people. See? So, mysteries abound. And my hope is that Starlet actually opens us up to other things, like possibly some of the gossip about Clark Rafferty and where he ended up because we don't know what his occupation is. That's been holding us back. And before I do that, just a quick check up on where we are in terms of locking people in. We need 3 complete major people correctly identified. That's picture, name and occupation, to lock them in and get them confirmed and make them go gold. At the moment, I don't think we have anyone, no, with 3 things. We've got people with 2 things. You've got 2 things. You've got 2 things. So occupations are kind of missing. You've got 2 things. You've got 2 things. You've got 2 things, and so on. Rafferty's got 2 things. You've got 1 thing. And I don't think Gwendoline. Did we identify Gwendoline in the? Wait, let me bring up my. Did we identify Gwendoline in this? No. No Gwyn. No Gwendoline. No one. So the only person in this photo who's not identified. No, wait. This is Next Generation. Gwendoline is this one. So Gwendoline. No, we don't know. She could be this person. We think this person is Gwyneth because of the glasses. Don't think that's Gwendoline. So that's probably Gwendoline, but we don't know yet. Anyway. Boop. Right. Let's do a quick run through the temp page first before we start getting into Starlit, because 1, I think it might remind us of some of the things in the temp page, or give us some structure for thinking. 2, there may be things we learn in Scarlet that we start shoving into temp again, and I'm just going to just like overload it. So let's do some admin, let's do some remembering, and do some trimming and moving around of the temp thing. Now, red root tree, I think I can get rid of because they were a red herring. They were this person. They weren't related at all. So let's just get rid of that. Oh, this whole thing about Edward not being white. I think that's probably nothing. So this was... My brothers all seem to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was to bring home somebody who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania, which suggests someone who's not white, based on tone. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over the department once he retires. But I think we put an Edward in, didn't we? Did we not put an Edward in? That's Edward. So Edward is actually Pop's child. Okay. Which suggests actually Edward married someone who wasn't white. I think I misinterpreted that. So let's... Married a non-white woman. Save note. Question mark. And then we can slot that into this line. Right? Oops, I actually need to like... So... I need to press the button of the reordering. So you can go in the Edward line there. And to bring our thing back up, this person who we were curious about because they're like one of the only non-white people in the game, apart from the Samantha Jones, who's over here. Samantha Jones was her name? Stephanie London. Who the hell was Samantha Jones? I guess she married a Jones. Okay. Stephanie Jones. Sorry, yes. I don't. Samantha is the other, you know, Sam. She's here. Okay. Stephanie Jones, born Landon, has a non-white husband. Okay, yes. Anyway, so this person, probably Edward's child. But Edward's not on here. What have I just pressed? But that's fine. Why is Carl here? Oh yeah, no. Carl is a dreamer. Oh, I know what I did. I moved this thing. Hang on, I can't see now what I've done. There we go. Let me just lock you so you don't move. Great. Okay, so that makes sense. I think that person is this person because they would be a dreamer as well. That makes sense. In fact, that makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. That I'm putting you in here. So I can at least remember who the hell you are. Yeah. Yeah, I can believe it. No name though. But she's on the board. That's fine. Right, back to this thing. A news expose was revealed it was his wife Edith's sister in a disguise. That's a miracle thing. Have we used that? Miracle Junior Edith. I think we have. Nonetheless, let's shove it in the miracle box. Right, Carl and his second cousin Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Roottrees at the time. Have we locked these people in yet? And this is one that's kind of spread. It's not in one neat little slot, so I maybe... Ernest Jr., where did he end up? He's in here somewhere. Because... Oh, no, I don't want you. I want you. That was weird. This line here. Ernie Jr. and Gwyneth are these people. And they were also in this. So Ernie Jr. and Gwyneth are the two people in that slot. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot again. Carl, his second cousin Ernie Jr. had just become president. Alright, let's shove this into 5-piece 2 for now, because that's where it belongs. This one is the names of different generations. I think we've basically got that covered. We don't need that. Bank accounts representing each direct of Elias and Gwyneth. An account is created for each blood relative at birth. Let's keep that in temp. That's more of an overarching thing. It doesn't fit anywhere. Roottrees versus RR. RR attempted two arguments. First, the person in question was born out of wedlock, and second, they committed a significant crime against a fellow family member. This could be... So this could be the person who... Let me rephrase. Let me phrase this in a way that I don't know how to end that sentence in that order. So, Lauren, when she was a kid, wrote a little story, true story, about how another little girl had come up to her and said, "Your dad is my dad." And then, you know, Clancy Edward, her dad, said, "Don't worry about it," and took the other girl away. So there is a lingering question of, if we go in here, this. I'm going to keep it in here. Oh, God. Blah, ignore that. I'm going to keep it in here, but I'm going to add a little note that says, could this be the little girl who spoke to young Lauren saying, your dad is my dad. See, I think it was in 5-piece 2. So if we write the note like that, I think, and then shove it up here. This we don't need. This I'll shove into the 5-piece 2 line because it's about Ernie. Probably not that important, but oh shit, 5-piece 3. So this is, I just need to change it. That's in the third 5-piece. There we go. Right, I feel happy with that. That's cleared the decks a little bit. We remembered a few things. We need to keep our eyes open for this mysterious person who Clancy Edward may be the father of, but what was your job, Clark Rafferty? Okay. There's a lot of spouses missing as well. A lot of spouses missing, and I really would like to get them. I don't want to like... Why are there lots of... Oh no, I was like, why are there lots of boxes behind you? And because he's in the warehouse, because the photo was taken in the warehouse. It's not a clue. These photos, I know where these photos came from. Right, should we search this periodical then? Let's start with Gwyn Roottrees. Okay. Gwyn Roottrees was often in Starlet. Most mentions were around the time of her divorce in 1958 from Wild Bill Williams. What does our... Sorry. I'm just going to... Okay. So they were married when the first child was born. It's just... I guess there aren't a lot of divorces. So there's not really a template for how children of divorce should appear. I mean, this person is a child of divorce, but they're not two children of divorce. So it's, I don't know, it's weird, it's complicated. And Stephanie Landon is a child of, I don't know, a father who buggered off. I guess my main point is I'm still curious about the format of this part of the family tree, and I think it is just that these children are part of a divorced family, and that's just the easiest way they could do it. But it's not. I'm not 100% sure on why it's not laid out more like this. There's no real reason for it to. Anyway. Back to Starlet. The gossip is speculative and full of tabloid stereotypes. Some of it focuses on the fact that when she announced her divorce, she also announced she was pregnant again. Corroborates what we just read from the previous thing. Others mention that the rumour is Wild Bill had multiple affairs, leaving her heartbroken. There's also an interview from earlier in mid-1957. What was this? 58. Where she was asked about her last name. She answered, Pepsi Max. The power of a name is undeniable. I don't know why I'm using this accent. My grandfather constantly preached the importance of family names and honouring them. My father decided to bless me with a famous name. There's nothing wrong with Cornwall, but Roottrees has power. Cornwall. My husband similarly goes by Wild Bill. It's an infamous name he repurposed for himself because he didn't have the benefit of being born with a famous one. But Wild, combined with the alliteration Williams, is incredibly memorable. So it's all a stage name, which is why we can't find him anywhere, but we do know he's a Cornwall. Therefore, boop. Let's pop that in. Oh, Cornwall is her dad's name, right? So her maiden name is Gwyn Cornwall. This person is Cornwall Lion, right? That's so. This is Gwyn on her maiden name, I believe. She's not talking about her spousal name. She's talking about her maiden name. Is she still talking? She's still talking. Although we relocated to Paris, I know your readers love to keep up with my husband. So consider this a Scarlet exclusive about the both of us. Wild Bill and I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottrees for the last name, not Williams. But we also plan to lean into alliteration. That's how we'll honor both of our family names for the next generation. Again, I don't know why I didn't stick with a sort of more northeastern accent, but here we are. So, what does this mean for the names we want? Because there is no Williams, right? Right? Is she saying that Williams was made up as well? Wild Bill Williams. But there's no Bill. There's no William. But this is suggesting that their children are going to be Roottrees, but with our first names for the alliteration. So, let's look at the big list. Right, were they pregnant again? Child, I'm looking for gender. I'm looking for like if she's had boys, girls, a boy and a girl. What do we have before? Oh, Margot, no. Second child. The floozies. The floozies aren't in this section. The floozies are over here. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. The floozies are in the Elias line. So let's I know we've actually identified the floozies at this point, so it doesn't really matter, but let's shove them all in there. Great. Right, I'm typing in Gwyn and her mother are blonde, even though we already know it, because I just want to make sure I understand why I wrote this down. And in fact, I'm going to move these up and out of the way. Great, because now we can focus on Gwyn and Wild Bill. Gwyn, blah 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 blah. Shouldn't have been named Roottrees. Gwyn, actress. Gwyn, married to Wild Bill Williams. Gwyn, maiden name Cornwall. We've all got a bit of a flow now with how it goes. So let's just add. I have a child on the way, and we're sticking with Roottrees for the last name. We plan to lean into alliteration. We'll honour both our family names for the next generation. Doesn't say that. It doesn't say that both of her children are alliterative. Honour both of our family names. So they're honouring both the family names by using Roottrees but also using alliteration. Is what I'm reading from that. So, I don't think we actually looked at the names. Oh yeah, I went to look at gender because I was like, which list do we look in? So let's look at Roottrees again. Riley and Raina are taken, I believe, because those are the original, like the ones that died. Riley and Raina. Fine. We continue. So they're probably not girls. So they're probably Robert and Ronald. I'll write that in. Okay. That is something. Anything else in here we need? Let's look into Wild Bill Williams. Here we go. Wild Bill Williams was mentioned many times throughout the magazine's lifespan, with stories and gossip about who he had been seen with in public. Blondes, mostly. 3 specific passages stand out. The first mentions one of his first roles was under his real name, Walter Forsythe. I mean, let's just shove it in, right? I'm going to pop it into the... to that. And that says Wild Bill Williams underneath, so I don't need it. And I'm going to go straight over here because I need to do things as I think of them, or, you know, bad things will happen. By which I mean I'll forget forever. So I think you are Walter Forsythe. There we go. I'm happy with that. Great. The second is an interview. Although he doesn't mention her by name, you can determine from context he's talking about Gwyn Roottrees. An apology to all the ladies. I'm actually taken. Earlier this year, I did a friend a favour. He was directing a war movie and asked me to play a small part. Wouldn't you know it, that son of a bitch cut me from the picture. I'm just ribbing. It wasn't his fault. Apparently the studio didn't want to pay for a star of my caliber. I got the last laugh, though. I met someone. She spent most of the film crying. She was playing a soldier's wife. But even through the tears, she was incredible. This is really bad for my throat. I know I tend to have a reputation, but this one's true love. I only have eyes for her. Excuse me. Ironically, the third is a rumour that his divorce from Gwyn was due to multiple affairs, including one with another actress. An American reader on vacation in Paris claims to have overheard Wild Bill and Gwyn arguing in public, while she was holding a baby and visibly pregnant. Not long after, Gwyn announced she was divorcing Wild Bill, and also that she was pregnant again, giving this rumour more credibility. So, correct me if I am wrong, but I think this, in terms of the family tree, is the only decent clue. Yeah, they moved to Paris. We knew that. That doesn't give us very much. We don't need a picture of Wild Bill. What we want is something on the... children. Do we think the children became actors? Because if so, we can look up Robert and Ronald Roottrees. Maybe they were in Starlet magazine, right? So let's try Robert Roottrees. Let's try Ronald Roottrees. Is that right? Ronald, was it? Robert and Ronald. Okay. All right. Worth a shot. And I don't think searching on Spider Search will help either, because you know you can't just really search up every name, can you? No. Otherwise you could do that with all the names in the list and figure stuff out, right? So how the hell are we going to get to the bottom of this? How are we going to get to the bottom of this? I mean, you know what? I was about to say, I'm going to assume Elias, son of Miracle, was also a preacher because it seems to be the family business, but he's dressed like a, you know, like a mechanic or something, or a plumber, or, you know, blue collar, like handwritten stitched name thing. What would you call that? That's because that's a particular thing, isn't it? That's like you're a sort of mechanic or something, and you've got that's a particular style of name badge. It's sort of very stylized to the type of work that is. Is there a name for that? Anyway, so maybe he's not in the preachery business. And why don't we know what you're? Do we know who you're married to? Should we go back to the miracles again? Just to double check. Miracle, miracle, miracle. A blurb about the tour. I'll have a look at that again in a minute. Let's look at miracles again. Oopsie. Miracle Junior. Did we look up Clergy Watch? His wife Edith's sister. That's how we got Edith. Oh, I didn't mean to click on that. I meant to click on... By the way, I've got a new mouse. It got really bad. Like, it was struggling last episode, but after that it was really if I tried to hold down the mouse, it would let go and then it would double click and it would do all kinds of things, and I was like, I had to get an emergency mouse from the cupboard, which isn't great, but it did the job until I went out and got a new mouse. So now this one works, and it's a happy mouse. I'm happy with it. I just thought you want to know. I'm operating with good mouse again. Yeah, we like. That's fine. Clergy Watch. Okay, so there was nothing in that. Nothing in that. Let's look up Miracle Network. Okay, cool. That's good. Right, we should make sure we're checking out the Butler County Times as well. Right, hang on. Right, we've done that. We've done the temp sheet. We've done looking at Starlet, but I'm gonna make a note to myself to try Starlet for Clark Rafferty. See if we can get to the bottom of any of that. Right. And that's it for now. But we also need to remember in general to look at the Butler County Times, because that's like your local paper and probably tuned into a lot of people involved. And so here we are. I don't think we've read this because none of it's highlighted. Miracle Roottrees and his son, who goes exclusively by Miracle Jr., have appeared in the Butler County Times a great deal over the years. The Miracle Network, which is a collection of churches, television shows and products that can be purchased, has multiple advertisements in each issue. You find one article mentioning legal troubles. Unfortunately, it's a throwaway line in an article about a tour they plan to take across the southern United States called the 3 Generations of Miracles Tour, which I believe is what the pamphlet is. Yeah. 3 generations. Cool. Great. Legal troubles. Park that thought for a second. The author speculates they're going on tour to leave their legal troubles behind. Because of all the advertisements, the results in Butler County Times are not particularly relevant to your search, and any attempts to find more about these legal troubles is thwarted. Okay. Interesting. Can I search for this in Spider Search? No, that just brings us back to the Miracle Network page. Okay. It's tricky. Again, I mean, we don't need spouses, but I'm like... curious, you know? Why can't we get them? There's no... Oh, his wife's called Nicole. Sorry, in my mind I was like, why don't we know what the third miracle spouse is? Now, did we know this? There's two Nicoles. Oh, but it's not going to be Madsen, is it? Because the Madsens are over here. Right? Hudson. No, the Madsens are over here somewhere. I'm not... Morden. I'm not crazy. There was a Madsen. I am crazy. There was a Madsen somewhere. Is there a Madsen we haven't written down? Okay, am I confusing Hudson and Morden? Madsen, here we go. I knew it. These are the Madsens. Okay, I'm going to put this information somewhere. I know what happened. Nicole. So I think Nicole Madsen is going to be over there underneath Samantha in the 5-piece 2 line, right? So I think this is Nicole Smith. So let's put her in. Do I need to make a note about it? I don't think so. I think we're all right. As for you, let's go just double check on what Lauren said about, yeah, Miracle One's youngest. So let's look at that. That'll be in the Lauren Rafferty line. Miracle. Where the... Here we go. Miracle's youngest even chimed in when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm. Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike engine faster. He was riding his mini bike. None of us... Okay, so this is semi jiving with the Eli is a mechanic, maybe, if he likes his bikes and he's tuning it up and stuff. It's thin though, isn't it? Like, it's not... Ooh, hang on a minute though, because Roottrees Motors, right? Which 1974 joined with Wilkins Motors. One cotton picking minute here. So if you're a Wilkins, It's a little thin. But we've got some evidence that this Eli, based on what he's wearing. Oh dear. Based on what he's wearing, we said he looked like a mechanic. Based on him tuning up his bike with a little help from Sam. And that's basically it. But if we combine that with the fact that Roottrees Motors sort of combined with Wilkins Motors, what if the story I'm gleaning from that, and it's not hard evidence to put all this together, it's sort of slightly soft, but that he married Catherine Wilkins, and then the Wilkins family and the Roottrees family joined together to give the garage over to the Roottrees name, maybe for the same reasons that Gwyn uses the Roottrees name, because it's a more sellable name. He took over the garage after whatever the Wilkins family, maybe Catherine Wilkins wasn't so inclined. And that's the story of this part of the tree, is that, you know, he likes being a mechanic, he joined forces with blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why I'm putting them there. I'm going to make a little note to myself about it. To explain to future me, if I'm ever if this doesn't go gold and lock in with everything else, then I need to explain to myself what I was thinking. I don't need to do that. Suspicion, I'll write to myself, based on clothing and anecdote about bike repair in Lauren's first diary. It's a bit long, this note. Elias M. is a mechanic. He runs Roottrees Motors, which he got through his marriage to Catherine Wilkins. That's not crazy, is it? It's sort of a... Again, it's not logically airtight. But it is a series of evidence pointing in the same rough direction, which is why I'm going to put that in for now, with the possibility that it might go gold. And I'm also going to put mechanic. So that's one fully speculated person. I've got all three things for them. We need other people really badly. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Like, we know who these two people are. We just don't know which order they're in. We know what their faces are. We know what their names are. We don't know what we know what one of their jobs is. We know that Ernest Jr. was the President 4. So once we get the order of these two out, we've got another full person there, and it looks like we've got nothing there, but we've actually got 5 out of 6 pieces of information in a sort of superposition, ready to go. So that's not nothing. This is killing me, and I don't know if we've got the information for this, and you know what the information is, and you're yelling at me, and I'm not hearing you because I'm in the past and you're in the future. But we will get there. But it's kind of weird being on the cusp for so many things. God, is there anything else we need? Okay, so in terms of... My mouse needs a bit more slack. In terms of this section here, we're missing Elias's kid. Haven't heard anything about him or her. Miracle's Senior's spouse. Don't know about them. And this, I don't think we're getting anywhere with today. So, what if I go into Starlet and see if I can figure out Clark Rafferty? Starlet. Damn it. Okay, what about his Jane LaRue? Okay, what about... Was he a minor celebrity in Butler County? No. Am I spelling it right? Is it Rafferty or Raffarty? No, it's Rafferty. And what was the name of this band? Jim and Diamond. Do you think they'll be in Starlet? Jim and Diamond. Damn it, who the hell else was in Scarlet? Okay, is there anything else we're going to get out of? What did this tell us about Clark Rafferty? Not a lot. Really not a lot. Oh, well, business... I don't think Business Watch will... Business Watch seems too big for Wilkins Motors. Wilkins Motors is like a local business. Yeah. And I think Roottrees Motors is the same, right? Yeah. And we looked up root dot. Yeah. Why do we not know what Elias Jr. did? Do we know what Elias Jr. did? Because Lauren spoke of all of the occupations of the people in this line. And 2 of them are housewives, right? So we got lawyer. Yes, she said lawyer, preacher, and architects. Architects, preachers, and lawyers. God, it's been staring us in the face the whole time. That's 2 people. That's 2 people I feel pretty reasonably comfortable about. Okay. These are the next gens. Let's just double check what she says about the next gens. What have we written down about there? Nothing really. That's fine. We can go to the book. Just want to double check I've Wait. Let's start here. No. Attempt to recapture. No, nothing really. Pop. Let's go back into the diary. Let's look. What does she say about her dad? Let's start here. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's not her father, is it? It's her brother. It's her brother. What did her brother do? What did any of these people do? We're looking for Clancy Jr., Elias C., or Edward. What did they do? That's what we're looking for. I don't know what the hell I was doing. What's this one doing for me? I want to keep track of these numbers, what's making these numbers change, but I'm, you know. Okay, let's look out for people in her generation. 3 younger brothers, yep. Aunt Margot, yeah, this is all about Aunt Margot. Wild Bill Williams. No, raise a child, yep. dynasty or dynasty. Elias. Right, so architects, preachers, and lawyers. That's how we just identified Elias Jr. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it. Pop argued at length. Pop argued that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottrees name. So that's talking about this down here. And then she says, I don't think Clancy would have wanted it. And he is the eldest son in this line. So that is all adding up. He's the one who volunteered, but it went to Zach. But it doesn't say what Clancy does. I asked Clancy if it ever came up to that woman could take over, and he laughed. Yep. That's talking about Zach. This is about Sam in 5 years later. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands when he used to drive on his way to work, but it doesn't say what his work is. And then this is more at Clark. Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Again, Clancy, we don't know what... We don't know what he is. We've looked up Squashbuck on My Heart, haven't we? What did he say about Edward? Edward. Edward's in this one, isn't he? No. What the bloody hell? Where's this bloody thing about Edward where I've got him about marrying someone who would get him arrested south of the border? Oh, it's in the Clark one, isn't it? Because Clark's the one who's a bit of a tearaway. Yeah. So we don't know about... Oh, God, it's hard, isn't it? Let's find out if Clark... No. Who the... Clancy. They got lots of C names. It's like the Kardashians for C's. Let's see if Clancy Roottrees has any business in the local area. No. Junior. Nope. Mysterious. What did you do, Clancy? What did you do? Where are we barking next? I need one thing. I need one thing. One more full person. I got you, and I got you. And if I get one more thing, I can lock it in. I tell you what I don't want to do, even though I could do it. As in, we know Ernest Jr. is one of these people. We almost certainly know what his face looks like because he's got the glasses. And we know his job is President the Fourth. So if I wanted to, I could put him in here. And if that doesn't work, I could put him in here to kind of force it. I feel like that's not cheating, but cheesing a little bit. I feel like I don't know for sure. Maybe the game wants you to do that because no. I don't think I think I did cheese a bit once, didn't I? Where I kind of just I fudged something once using the power of 3 to confirm it. But in real life, as real life as you can be, like you cannot rely on the power of 3 things getting locked in to help you. You'd have to have some information that would show you which side Ernie Madsen Jr. was on which side Gwyneth or Gwendoline or whatever her name is on. So I'm not going to do that just yet. But what am I going to do? Who are we? What avenues have we not undertaken yet? Right, Catherine. Again, I can't just search up random names, right? Because that would kind of kill the game. But yeah, and I think Wilkins Motors we've already looked up, and that might have gotten us the poster in the first place. And this still has a clue. 22 years later, with a baby of her own. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. Yeah, we know about that. We know about what that means. Stephanie Jones. This had a lot of numbers when we first got it. Mysterious. I don't know right now. It's a miracle. There's still one thing here we haven't figured out. What did we figure out today? Not a lot. Well, we sort of we sort of got something. So we got this we got Forsyth, we got Gwyneth, we got Gwyn's husband, we got Margolite's husband, we got his job, we got his job and wife. So it's not, we got his wife. Again, to varying degrees of certainty. And we know some of this. We didn't get that this time, but we know a bunch of that. And we're edging closer to some things. We got this picture. Okay, so it wasn't a bust. We just haven't locked things in a little while. So let's take a little break there. Because I think I'm just like circling the weeds right now in my brain. And I just need to just make myself a cup of tea. Take 5 minutes. Come back in. Refresh my thoughts. And that'll happen in the next episode. So thank you again for watching. Got a few new viewers or subs and people coming to join me from the other channel. So thank you if you enjoy any of this, and I will see you in the next episode, which will be episode 11, if I was correct about what number episode this is. For me, it'll be 5 minutes. For you, it'll be 2 days, or whatever the hell it is. Bye for now.